Ah, so we're here with Max and James Lanman. James is the lead singer for The Good Hurt, who has just released a new video for their new song, Only in Your Mind, a video which Max, his brother, directed. So we're going to be talking a little bit about the video and a little bit about the band, and thanks for being here with us, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us, dude.
Yeah. So, James, why don't you tell us a little bit about how the band started and how you guys got together and how you started doing what you're doing?
I moved up from LA after trying to hone my chops playing solo acoustic music. Basically, I didn't know how to play guitar because I came from an electronica background, and when I started writing more rock and roll type music, I basically just tried to school myself by doing as many open mics and happy hours and bars as possible in LA. But putting a band together was a huge pain in the butt because you have to drive at least like 2 hours to get anywhere, or an hour, to rehearsals, and it just gets to be too much. So I moved up to to Seattle from LA, and pretty much within a month or a month and a half after moving up here, I formed what is now The Good Hurt.
So you guys have a really interesting, different sound. It's kind of somewhere between, you can definitely hear your electronica background, and you talked a bit about Motown influencing your musical taste as well. Why don't you tell us a little bit about who you feel has influenced your band's sound, and where do you guys feel like your roots have come from?
Director Max and I's parents come from the Midwest. They grew up in Indiana, right next to Gary, Indiana, where the Jackson 5 grew up and started performing. So growing up, our mom played a lot of Motown, a lot of old school sound, a lot of soul stuff. So I think for me personally, I come from a background that's sort of like soul influenced. And I'm definitely a product of the times. I grew up as in the '90s, basically a '90s kid. So Weezer, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Jeff Buckley, these are all huge. But my divergence is definitely the techno history that I have runs through the way I write songs. That's why I think it's why we're very poppy, because I tend to write formulaically. When it comes to the songs, because it's basically the basis of techno and dance music is build-ups and breakdowns, and a lot of repeating, driving a message home, and that's kind of the same thing with Motown. The idea was taking one message and driving it over and over again over a good rhythm, basically. The other guys in the band have different influences though, so it's about to get a little bit more eclectic, because I was writing everything, but now we're experimenting with just co-writing a little bit, and the band actually came up with an instrumental track recently, and I put it through my engine, and I think it's gonna be pretty cool.
Do you guys have similar music taste, having been brought up in the same house?
So, yeah, I would say we have similar music tastes. I mean, pretty much the way our family works, there's 5 brothers, 5 Lanman brothers, and I'm the third. James is the second. And pretty much the older brothers shed their musical taste on the younger brothers. So I definitely got a lot of James's tastes. Some of Fritz's as well, so I'm a little bit more hip-hop inclined than James. But yeah, we listen to everything but country. James loves country, actually.
Don't want to rat him out.
No, that's not true.
When you were directing the music video, when you guys were coming up with the music video, do you think it was good that you guys had the same taste and that helped you work together?
Some of the conversations, some of the artistic and creative decisions we make, some of them don't need to happen in those discussions, because we just know and we're on the same page. Because I think we like a lot of the same film stuff too, and yeah, it was pretty fortunate for me, because these guys put a lot of faith and trust in me and let me do what I wanted to do in the video.
Why don't you guys tell us a little bit about the process of making the music video, as far as James, your task of learning how to sing backwards, and Max, your task of coming up with the idea and directing the whole thing, the massive scaffolding, etc. Tell us a little bit about that whole process.
Basically, we're like, all right, what objects would look awesome in reverse? And the concept of the video is that we're trying to create a visual score for the song, where a score in a film would typically accent the visuals. We wanted to make the visuals accent the song. And that's sort of like the ethos of music video making. But yeah, so that's basically the premise. And then we're like, well, you know, this part of the song sounds kind of like it would match well with the feathers floating up. Or, you know, the fireworks should really come in on this big final chorus or the repeat of the chorus, stuff like that. We were trying to think of what materials work well with different parts of the song. But more interestingly, the band had a huge task, which was to learn the song in reverse. And I think James can speak a little bit about how he was able to not only learn the song in reverse phonetically, but also make it look like he was singing the song in reverse, which is a huge, very difficult task.
Yeah. So, how much fun was that, James?
-20 on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a pretty arduous process because I think once we realized that like it wasn't just as easy as listening to the song backwards and memorizing it that way, which is crazy. You think that would do it, you know? But it's actually like you have to listen to it backwards and write it out phonetically backward. You literally have to look at the word backwards and sound that out phonetically so that your mouth movements are doing what they would do going forward, but in reverse. Your mouth has to look like it's doing it the right way, or it won't look right at all. And even in that video, even after committing that to memory and working on it for like 2 weeks, it's still not perfect. And it really was really tough to get it right while getting pelted in the face with water balloons going at high speeds, full of paint, and while Roman candles were whizzing by your face as well.
I should also add that it worked out really well because I happen to know that James had an uncanny ability to speak backwards, because it was something he had done before, just being a recording artist. I remembered specifically James knows how to say, "Hello, my name is James" backwards, and he could do it for you right now if you wanted.
Let's hear it.
Smearjam whiskey mit Tiagoawa. How our guys mix you, my name is James.
That's pretty creepy, man. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, yeah. So again, this is these guys. It's The Good Hurt with their new album. You Are Here. You can buy it at their website in the link below. And make sure to check out their music video at onlynumber.com. And thanks a lot for coming out, guys. Great talking to you.
Great talking to you, Nate.
Thank you, Nate.
Yep, my pleasure. See you later.